Cyber News, evidently it won't cost $8 to do new things anymore. To have a icon sitting by your name or whatever. But, his de facto response to all of his haters is to pay him $8 anyway. In our new cyberpunk dystopian existence, in which we have to pay people to even validate the fact that we exist. So, yeah.
Membership club.
Yeah. So, dystopian cyberpunk existences, that was kind of a thing in the early 90s, wasn't it? Like, you had a lot of sci-fi movies based on that very concept, so on and so forth. But you even had musicians doing the
this is Billy
thing.
Idol, yes!
Including the one and only Billy Idol.
I was wondering when we were going to get to the Billy Idol.
Who,
Cyberpunk album.
Yeah, who you would not think would even have one, but here we are, in the concept and the albums.
Billy Idol is a man of some charm.
So yeah, for those...
I'll give him a few things.
For those that do not know, he was famous in the 80s for having...
Oh, I don't know hardly any of his stuff. Yeah, I just know...
Rebel Yells and...
I just know some hits.
And White Wedding, but...
It's the Billy Idol guy.
But yeah, he had a few albums before this. If you listen to the radio at all, you would have heard the top hits from those, but to me, any Billy Idol song is not a bad song.
The album came out in 93.
Yeah, this album came out in 93 after he was stuck up in the hospital, nursing an injury or whatnot. And,
you're trying to resurge your career at that point.
Yeah.
Hadn't he been around for about 10 years?
Yeah.
What was his first album?
It
was 1983.
Yeah. Yeah, it's counts as after
82?
two hit mega albums at least, and
anyway, yeah, he goes back pretty far.
Yeah.
I think he had different hair.
He did. Like he
What was his 1993 Billy Idol hair?
Instead of having, he gelled it up for one of the music videos for the Cyberpunk album, but I think for the most part he did spikes that went out in different directions as opposed to straight up. Had gel spikes, because...
Why am I thinking about him having...
Before then it was the curls and the Billy Idol hair.
Swirly instead of spike? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know his chronology on. So. Why do I keep thinking about like a Terminator face? Like where your face is half cyborg? Where they do like a half robot on your face.
I think that's, that'd be the music video.
Is that from Billy Idol?
Yeah, that's Billy Idol. That is the Billy Idol.
He goes part robot in one of
the same
deals?
The same Rebel Yell Billy Idol. Did this album after reading a bunch of William Gibson books.
Okay.
While being stuck up in a hospital. So, and one of his, I think it's like his manager or some producer came up to him and he was like, "Dude, Billy, you are the man. You can be a cyberpunk." And he kind of rolled with it.
Truly the era of cyber.
Yeah.
So in the hospital he had the time to.
Yeah.
Is what you're saying?
Yeah.
He went through some different novels while he was stuck. Okay.
Some of that Neuromancer and all the classic cyberpunk books of the time. So yeah, he was like, after being back to normal health, he made this and wrote this album. I
don't know what it is. I think I only know that dadgum Neuromancer thing.
But it's kind of hard. It sits in the middle threshold between the Billy Idol kind of hard pop rock and early 90s techno. If you can got a lot, it's got a heavy dosage of
yes.
Is
this gonna have dance mixes on it?
Oh, it's got dance. Yeah, it's got dance in spades.
Good
boy. Like your booty will be on the floor.
And you get your booty on the floor, yeah.
No time at all.
Yep.
You get your KMFDs and your CNCs, and you get everything on this album. It used to be a guilty pleasure. Like, whenever I first heard about this, like, years and years ago, I put it up on YouTube, and
see why it wouldn't be anymore.
I'm like, yeah, this is hilarious. This is, like, it's... Because you're listening to it, and you're hearing the techno, but then you, hear Billy Idol come up in the freaking mix. Man.
I just think of him more in the days of his earlier incarnations.
Yeah.
With the guy. I had that one album. Not that I remembered anything about it. Whiplash Smile.
Yeah.
With the guy. Remember the Billy Idol guy?
The guy.
Not him, but the guy that's always standing next to him.
Yeah.
Guitarist man or whoever he is.
Yeah. Yeah. In this Cyberpunk album, you get one song that was obviously made for Billy Idol fans. That Shock to the System song. Where it's also the one song that got the one music video, so it was.
Oh, that's the robot thing.
The one that was made to be consumed. But then you get you get a lot of and some club mixes of the time. There's a lot of down tempo, kind of like Psychosonic style stuff, but then you hear Billy Idol come into the mix again. Kind of like Billy Idol joining with Paul Sebastian and Daniel Lentz. Which I don't know. I don't even know if that would count as a supergroup at that point. But, yeah.
So he does refreshing sounds.
Yeah. It's 90s.
Billy Idol delivery.
With Billy Idol delivery.
He'll sing.
And the hard rock. You get a little bit of the hard rock too, but it's meshed kind of uncomfortably in. He does sing a lot too. You do know it's Billy Idol through the album. And that's the thing. Like, I enjoy listening to this guilty pleasure, honestly. It's in line with the first Psychosonic album with my guilty pleasures and getting on the floor type thing. But the three things you gotta remember is it's Billy Idol, and it's Billy Idol. And each one of those means a different thing.
Well, it's not like he'd be that old.
He's not old.
Wouldn't he only be like a 27-year-old man?
Yeah,
or something?
he wouldn't. Yeah, it's not even him being old or like out of touch or whatnot.
Like 31. Yeah, he's not an old guy.
Yeah, it's just a direction that he decided to take that is quite awesome.
The belief. It's the same thing. It's part of the innocence.
Yeah,
layover.
Your
risks.
Your
aesthetic.
Your
daredeviling.
You're getting into the 90s.
And your sheer gut feeling belief.
Yeah.
That we can pull this off.
But yeah, you're getting into the 90s. The 90s are happening.
Cyberpunk album right here.
But then Billy Idol is over here. You know, that type of thing. So yeah, we've already hammered the fact that it's Billy Idol on the album. The second it's Billy Idol excuse comes from the fact that, like we mentioned before, and his guitarist. So you get the classic mashup of, hey, I'm trying to put this into this hard rock into the techno. The third, it's Billy Idol, comes from the fact that it's too much Billy Idol. He didn't lean into the 90s enough for my taste type thing. That's what makes this album both enjoyable for me and my main criticism. Because
I mean, doesn't he still kind of have to focus on himself, though? It's still a Billy Idol album.
It's him, yes. And
like, what else could he have maybe done to...
It's one of those things where like, maybe people would have probably lambasted him if he leaned more into the 90s.
I was going to say, it would be damned if... Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe it's best that he didn't do it, but I kind of like the alternate universe theory of, like, what if there was a Billy Idol that truly embraced the 90s type thing? Where he cast aside his glam punk rock
that he hopefully would have known, maybe with a little like time travel, hindsight,
and then
that he could have done a
because it could have been an industrial album. Like, it didn't have to be like he could have, this alternate universe could have been Billy Idol being either complete full dance club scene guy
with the sensibilities of,
or industrial, leaning into the 90s industrial sound type thing.
Yeah, he probably wishes he could go back and do it in a
You wonder what that would even sound like. But we get Cyberpunk. So that's not to say it's a bad thing. This album has brought me many hours of enjoyment listening to it again and again. A few notable tracks.
You like the songs?
I like the music. I love
you could put it on in a car on a road trip. Or
absolutely, yes.
Okay.
I get it's the fine balance between ironic enjoyment and actual enjoyment. I like the mixes. I'm a big fan, even though they completely desecrate the complete meaning of the song. That Velvet Underground cover.
This involves heroin.
Yes.
Gosh.
Yeah. I like the mix. Destroys the complete meaning of the song, but I'll bob my head to it because it's a 90s club track.
Oh, I'll get the humor value from it. Just because it's him doing a cover of 1967
Velvet Underground
song.
But a few other things I like on here. That Shangri-La song, whenever it's him venturing into the literal Shangri-La, the cyber universe and whatnot, that's a pretty cool down-tempo song. The Neuromancer song, that's definitely ironic enjoyment.
Yeah, is he talking about?
It's him.
Yeah, but I mean, though, is he talking about?
It's
cybernetic implants of downloading your
your 1 point whatever terabytes of data and your
brain algorithms.
I mean,
because I thought it was about dancing.
Well, it's trancing.
So he talks about other stuff.
Like, that makes a difference, yeah. But
it's not just we'll do a dance in the 90s. when he says neuromancy, does he also go on to get specific about?
Yes.
I'm talking about the wet wired implants and the uploading your brain algorithms onto.
It's dreams of your own divine and whatnot, and
VR plugins of the new consciousness.
In the lyrics, in the verses, he does specifically mention those types of things.
Okay.
So it's not just a mindless club track that everybody can get down to. The songs involving the Timothy Leary samples.
That's what? Him talking?
Him talking and doing this spa, like, relax thing. The
Timothy Leary's voice?
Yeah. Where he's like, calm down. Bring your...
Oh, he leads like a meditation? That's funny.
Bring your inner chakra down to...
What's it called? Relaxation,
to a level 3 or 2.
Put it at number 2.
Which, also is probably the longest intro to a song that I know of.
5. Then 6.
At 3.5 damn minutes for an intro. Like, that's the other thing. The other issue I got with this album is that it's too long. Like, in the early 90s, especially.
It'd have to be over 50 minutes.
Yeah.
Is it over? Is it an hour?
The album itself clocks in at like 70 to 75 minutes long.
Really?
Yeah. It's long. There's like 13 tracks, and they're all, with exception of like 4 interludes that are like maybe a minute long. But each main song on here is no shorter than like 5 minutes. Most of them are 7.
Could you fit it on 2 albums? Would it need to be a triple album?
No. Well, if it was on vinyl, yes. You would need 3. But since it's on compact disc, It's like 80 minutes is like the max you can, so it all fit on one disc.
We're not even gonna put it on record.
But yeah, that's it's too long. Like with this type of music, especially,
it wears out its welcome.
I am definitely done with it after about 45 minutes, which is what it should have been.
Yeah, why not just release the second album soon after?
Like, I think usually I hit the different artist button after the Shangri-La song, and there's still 4 songs to go. 4 or 5.
Yeah, I'm not gonna blame you for changing it after you just run through the favorites.
But yeah, to me, an ideal album length is roughly 40 to 50 minutes.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And that's not even a bonus edition album length. That is the length of the album. 70 minutes.
We're gonna be in here a long time.
Yeah. But yeah, so
jack in. Hacking the mainframe. We've done it before.
Yeah.
We're gonna take the mainframe.
This album, you definitely loop through Jones. Freaking
to the Stone Age. Remember?
Yeah.
We're taking it to the Stone Age.
Yeah, like you can audibly use this album to like coordinate a botnet that'll take your system back to the Stone Age and whatnot.
The uplink.
Yeah. But
and your Gibson PowerTech gloves.
You're not gonna hear any of these songs even show up in somebody's like dance or trance mix. I don't know, if I'm at the club, the last thing I expect to hear is the guy that sang Rebel Yell or White Wedding come up in a dance mix.
None of these were actual hits, were they?
But
does it count as a flop?
Does it count as a... Yeah, it does.
As a tank album?
It didn't do very well with sales, but gained kind of like a cult following based on
Billy Idol people like us,
cyberpunkies that it's not only the hardcore Billy Idol fans, but cyberpunkies that are just looking for new material.
My guess would have been that the younger kids didn't appreciate it because it was this 80s man.
Yeah, and also the younger kids of today wouldn't appreciate it because it's lame 90s cyberpunk sci-fi stuff that I happen to be a big fan of. But again, I can see why a kid of today would be like, "Dude, this is lame, man. Why don't you throw this with your Wax Trax record stack and whatnot?" But I mean, I like the music. I like Billy Idol. I can listen to this album for both like real and ironic enjoyment.
Halfway through, anyway, you got to purposely go back to listen to the second half.
Yeah. Usually the one I hit skip on, the song name is called Concrete Kingdom, so I'll have to remember that and then start it at Concrete Kingdom. So
when you leave,
it counts as that'll probably count as new listening material.
Oh, the same old thing with me. I can only use him as a joke.
Oh man. Yeah, but for those who are dangerously inquisitive, I guess.
And it's just called Cyberpunk?
Yeah.
The word?
Yep.
The compound word?
Yeah. If you're looking it up in a Google search, you'd want to put his name in too, otherwise you'll get...
It would be funny to go through if I was stuck in the car and the person insisted on and said, "Yes, we are doing the first half of this damn CD." Then I guess I would be okay with it.
Like the one or two friends that I share a car with, whenever they request Billy Idol, I will put something from this album on. Because otherwise they're expecting to hear White Wedding, Rebel Yell. So I'll be like, okay. And then you'll hear, "Shock to the system." Yes. And they're like, what the hell?
That's a pretty good... For anybody old enough to remember and like or be familiar with his his big hits.
Yeah, that's
a good.
That's yeah.
Does that count as a parlor trick? It's a good thing to do to your buddies who would be familiar with regular Billy Idol.
Let me put on a track that you would probably hear on Deep Tracks type.
You don't have to say, yeah, this coming up, this deep cut. But if they said, put on Billy Idol quickly.
Yeah.
And then you can say,
right away. Yeah.
Coming up.
But, yeah. So.
If you like Billy Idol, you'll love this.
I mean, yeah. So, just to reiterate, I guess, if you're hardcore into the Cyberpunk universe, mythos,
for good, or I mean, for a good,
actual,
for a good rating,
I would say maybe 6. There's better stuff you can listen to.
6 what?
6, like maybe 6 out of 10, like average.
Oh, what grade it gets?
Yeah, like there's better stuff to listen to, but if you want your mind to be entranced with the fact that Billy Idol did a Cyberpunk thing, I would say go ahead and listen to it, because it's listenable. And if you're a hardcore Billy Idol fan, I mean, chances are you already heard the music. So
I would be able to go along with it.
But yeah,
and not be in total dismay. at least for what would seem like a regular single album length.
Yeah.
I don't know that I would be able to
Yeah.
want to go all the way through 70 minutes.
Yeah, because, I mean, I even count as a fan of both. And I can't do the entire album. Yeah, so.
It's the whole one of those things where you root for the guy.
Yep.
You're like, yes, I'm proud of him for releasing this goofy thing in 1993 where he turns into a robot.
Yeah. Yeah,
and predicts the wave of
where we are.
Billy Idol nostalgia.
Yeah. It's right in that nebulous zone of
what? It's not 2.0. We got a long way till 2007 or something.
Yeah.
And it's not quite the 80s, but basically the 80s still.
Separated enough from the 80s, but yeah, not quite. Yeah. 2000s. So, yeah, give it a go if you're completely out of things to listen to, I guess. It's on YouTube Music.
Oh, better than that.
So,
give it a go.
Just give it a go, yeah. I was being too harsh on it.
Well, he's gone on, hasn't he? He's made other stuff.
Yeah,
he didn't drop out of showbiz in 1993 after this.
No, he never stopped. He's still making
stuff. Good for Billy Idol.
So yeah, yeah, give it a listen. That's all I'm saying. Yeah.